Well, it's that time of year again where I'm prepping a video and we got a hurricane coming. Now, as of the recording of this video, Hurricane Dorian is hitting the Bahamas at 185 miles an hour, which is a Category 5, the highest level on the scale. So, I'm hoping everyone is staying safe down there. And right now, the next target is Florida, which I did get an update on the track, and it's showing the hurricane scraping up the coast and towards us, but as of right now, it's not expected to make landfall anywhere. But that does not mean that everyone is safe. Everyone's definitely going to get at least tropical storm winds and rain. So I'm definitely keeping a close eye on this, but right now it shows it scraping across the whole southeastern coast. So likely my place is going to be impacted, but likely not hurricane winds. So speaking of Florida, some stuff about that. So I didn't make a regular con video. I did do my DJ set, and I've done Who's Line. So those are the only two videos I have for that. I did not do any regular video because this was more of a laid-back convention for me. I just wanted to just enjoy myself. See, some of the stuff I did quite a bit of the gaming area. Played Smash Brothers. Tried out a couple of new board games. I played one called Sheriff of Nottingham, which is pretty much a deception game. Which the point is, you're trying to get stuff to your market stand, but you have to bluff your way. There's certain items that you're not allowed to get in, but you have to convince the sheriff not to look in your bag. So it was a very enjoyable game. Let's see, what else was going on? I did the escape room from Fuzzy Logic, and it was a shorter one compared to ones that we did before. This room was only 30 minutes long, and you just had to prep the finale for the magic show. That's pretty much what it was. So we did a good job of it. We had to use all three of our hints, but we got it done. So I enjoyed the escape room so much. I actually went to an escape room place in Orlando. It's called the Escape Game, and they have 6 rooms, varying on level. I've did all but one. Yeah, the only one I didn't do was a prison escape because I wanted to work my way up, and I just didn't have enough time to do the last one. But yeah, escape rooms are getting more and more popular. So yeah, go out there. If you have one near your area, do challenge yourself. It's a very fun time. But back to Megaplex. The numbers, over 3,600 attendees, which what did I say rank them on attendance? What are they now? I said they're now 7th. They had 3,617, so they have surpassed Eurofrance. And in fact, Eurofrance just had their convention not too long ago, and they are still behind Megaplex. Their numbers are 3,412. So what does this mean for Megaplex? They are getting to the point where they're now considered a large convention, not a medium size. And it's a good thing that they changed convention centers, because now they need more space. And luckily the Caribe Royale does have that. Pretty much the main issue with this place is parking. it got so crowded that it was just hard to find space. Now, what was interesting was that someone posted a Google review on the Caribe Royale, and we were just laughing about it because their main complaint was just the furries being there. I'll see if I can bring it up. But while I am doing that, Caribe Royale, it's a really nice place. You got several restaurants there. I mean, if you do have want something cheaper, there are other food options nearby. They are within driving distance. 3 different buildings as far as rooms. The building I was in had a little cafe there, a little snack place. Tower 3 had a spa. I don't know what building 1 had, but there's a big pool area in the center. The best thing about being in Tower 2 is that you're right there at the walkway to go straight to the convention center. Now, I was glad that there was a ceiling on the pathway, yeah, because there was some rain that passed by during the convention. So that was nice to have that there. Let's see. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, because yeah, someone pointed out to me that someone made this really silly review on there, and the best part was the hotel defended us. It was really nice. Let's see. It should be in here somewhere. And does this have a... I should be able to sort these by recent. Yep. Let's see. 6 days, week. Yeah, while I'm still looking for this, I did spend some extra time down there. I spent some time at Universal. Got myself a annual pass. Sometimes when you're attending so many times, it is best to get the annual pass to get more bang for your buck. Let's see. Yeah, just pardon me for just a minute while I look for the review. I know it's in here, but yeah, someone pointed out to us was I was like, what? And I started looking for it, and there it was right there. I may have to put this through an edit phase because this may take a little while. Here it is. This is the review is from a Stacy Cummings. She gave 1 stars all across the board. And I'm quoting from the review. This is what it said. This was a terrible experience. We were celebrating my son's 16th birthday, and there was a furry convention going on. The hotel should have told us that this convention was going on because I would have picked a different hotel. This was very uncomfortable, and that my 9-year-old was scared, and both my children was exposed to this was not appropriate. We were not able to enjoy any of the amenities. Parking was a joke, and I had to park super far away from my tower after 15 minutes of searching. and I felt unsafe walking in the dark trying to find my tower because all these furry people walking around. It was just a terrible experience, and I wish the hotel would have informed guests about this convention. When I spoke to the manager, Javier, he advised me to complain on various websites because all they could do is refund me my parking. I paid all this money to enjoy the amenities and use a beautiful pool, but we were too uncomfortable to use the amenities or even be in that hotel. To witness grown adults walking around with tails and dog collars and various costumes was not something I anticipated. Management is terrible, our room's bathroom was gross, and the curtains in the room were stained. Don't stay here. Alright, first of all, the hotels are not obligated to say if there's a convention going on, because that's, and I believe that's part of their privacy policy. Second, do you really feel unsafe about animal costumes walking around? How are you scared by that? You're in Orlando where you have Disney, you have Universal. How are you scared by them? And all they're doing is having a convention. That was it. But like I said, the hotel actually responded to them. So this was their response. Dear Stacy, thank you for providing your honest feedback. We are very disappointed to learn that you were so displeased during your time here, and we'd like to offer our apologies for failing to meet your expectations. We do not share any information about any group or individual staying in our hotel during the reservation or check-in process. This policy is for privacy reasons. No hotel would share that information. We apologize that you and your children were frightened. However, many families enjoyed the costumes and actually took photos with the costume guests. The furries are harmless, and their costumes are cute and similar to cartoon animals, just like you would encounter at Disney or SeaWorld or even the Easter Bunny at the mall. You would encounter much more frightening characters at Universal Studios, such as the X-Men, Witches, and Marvel. Did you bring your housekeeping concerns to management? We could have easily rectified those issues. We wish you all the best for the remainder of your travels. This was awesome to see that management would come and defend us. So I say that was good for them, and I don't know about their housekeeping issues. That's between them and the guest. But I personally did not have any housekeeping issues. Let's see. So yeah, there was the parking, but I think they can fix that. Now, there was one thing during the convention that I did not like, and that was Sunday night. I was at the karaoke stuff. I got in there like an hour in, and I put in my information. I waited over 2 hours. 2 hours! And my name was never called. Which I think that some got up more than one time. So it was about 30 minutes till the end. So I go up there and ask them, how much more is in the queue? And they said, you're like number 9. I was like, your panel's going to end by the time you get there. So whoever ran that karaoke, they got to do a better job of that. You can't have me wait over 2 hours and have me do nothing. Because there's one thing that I don't like. There's one thing I don't like when it comes to these. I don't like it when they waste my time. That's something I failed to mention in my BLFC review. I know that's a few months ago, but I failed to mention this. When they did the fursuit photo, it took them 20 minutes past when they were scheduled to take the photo before they actually took it. Because people were still coming in. You got to be punctual with this stuff. because it was on the schedule that you were supposed to be here by this time. So I really hate it when they don't do things by the schedule. I'm someone that likes everything to be punctual, everything on time. It's really a pet peeve for me. But other than that, Megaplex was a good con. They did invite one guest of honor I really wish they did not bring. It's the same one that was at AntherCon. I will not mention who it is because he is not worth my time. But Megaplex, I do enjoy it. We'll see where they go from here, but I think there's quite a bit of confidence for Megaplex going forward. Now, some of you may be asking me, I said I was planning Indie FurCon. Why didn't I go? 2 reasons. 1, Megaplex kind of drained my funds, so I have to recover from that, and I have to work to get everything back together, get ready for the next one. The second reason was there was an accident here at my house. My mother was in the kitchen and she slipped and fell, broke her wrist. So I had to take her to a hospital at midnight to get her in a cast, and we didn't get back till 3 a.m. The health of my family comes first over any convention, so I felt it was more important that I took care of this. So if the money was not enough, it was the accident. So Indie FurCon ended up being out of the picture, but it's definitely being under consideration for the next time. Let's see. There was something going on during the Eurofriends weekend, and it was a topic. Now, I did have feelings on, but never brought up, but apparently someone did. And they gave it a term called poodling. What is poodling? That is when someone has a partial fursuit. They have the head, the hands, and the feet, and they go around just with like a t-shirt or shorts showing skin. Now someone made this video. They were asking someone how they felt about it, and they said that it was like the worst thing. Now, I'll give my thoughts on this. For one thing, I'm not a fan of it for several reasons. 1, I have this thing. I mean, I've worked for Disney, and I currently work with a character, and we have this thing called character integrity. To create the illusion of the character, you can't have any skin showing. Everything has to be right there. You got to be there portraying the character, the whole image. You can't ruin the illusion. And I know there's going to be people saying that people walk around with their heads off. Yeah, that's not the point. And I'm sure that people have made their feelings on that as well. But the problem is that they're actually trying to portray their characters. But the illusion is just not there when you have human skin showing. So, yeah, it's just my thing with character integrity. My bells go off every time I see that. I mean, and to me, it's easily rectified. Because when I have Loki out, I just put on just a light long sleeve jacket and some long pants. Problem solved. I mean, he's wearing clothes and there's no skin showing. Again, it's a simple fix. It would just cost you like $40, $50 to get all the clothes to cover up. So Now, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but to me, it's just lazy, okay? Now, with that being said, saying that it's the worst thing that ever occurred at a con? No. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, there are definitely worse things that have happened. Like, if you have small children, when they had the Maskable stuff, I mean, I'm not really going to care about that. I mean, they're children. I'm not going to bash them on that just because. But, I mean, like I said, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just bells ring in my head because I'm big on character integrity. But we'll move off from that and go to a different topic. Peter S. Beagle has been awarded $332,500 in a judgment in his lawsuit against an ex-manager. So this is an update from a previous story. This is the guy that wrote The Last Unicorn. He had a lawsuit against Connor Cochran. So when the court battle was in progress, here, let's see. This article mentions Equivamp. Who is that? Yeah, give me 1 second here. Yeah, that may be the source that they're going to. They wrote the full story of the lawsuit involving Beagle, author of The Last Unicorn, and there was an update on how Cochran misused the legal process with frivolous litigation to drag things out in a war of attrition. Time ran out for delaying judgment, and final findings have indicated opinions by many fans, including Neil Gaiman, longtime friend of Beagle. Let's see. So someone named File770 covered the judgment, and Deborah Grabian, I probably butchered that name, wrote about the document. Below the judge's final decision in Peter's suit. It's a thing of beauty. Peter won flat out on 4 of 6 causes. On at least one of the 2, Peter was not awarded. The judicial language makes it pretty clear that the only reason for that lack of proof that Cochran did what he did was with the intent to actively harm. After the court, let's see. So Beagle won his case and got a pretty good sum out of it. Let's see. There's a full statement of the decision. So I have the document, the statement of decision. So here's what it reads. After considering the evidence and arguments of the parties, the court finds the plaintiff proved by preponderance of the evidence his claims against defendant Cochran individually for financial elder abuse, which plaintiff also characterized as elder abuse constructive fraud. B, fraud. C, breach of fiduciary duty. And D, defamation. Order number 2 finds that the plaintiff did not prove by preponderance of evidence his claims against Cochran individually for elder abuse based on acts resulting in mental suffering, or B, conversion. 3 finds that the defendant did not prove by preponderance of the evidence his affirmative defenses, including based on the statute of limitations and latches. 4 awards damages to the plaintiff and against defendant Cochran individually in the amount of $7,500 for defamation, and $325,000 on plaintiff's remaining claims for a total judgment of $332,500. 5. Finds the plaintiff did not prove his claims for punitive damages. And 6. After considering the defendant's objection, the court further orders plaintiff to file and serve a noticed motion for reasonable attorney's fees. The plaintiff may wish to file the motion at the conclusion of the case or in the bankruptcy matter in order to address the challenges required to allocate time for purposes of a competent lodestar calculation. And 7. Directs plaintiff to prepare a proposed partial judgment within 5 court days of this statement of decision. So his main claim, he got $325,000 and he got an extra $7,500 for defamation. So again, pretty good haul for him, and we'll see where it goes from there. Now, I did read this next story, and all I'm going to say is that people in Philadelphia would riot if something had changed. Designers of the Philly Fanatic have threatened to terminate their copyright transfer after 35 years per a lawsuit filed by the Philadelphia Phillies baseball team. Crucially, the Fanatic was not originally a work for hire, but owned by its creators. In which they said, initially we leased the Fanatic to the team for appearances and paid a royalty to them for the licensed products we did. The first year of licensing, we did over $2 million in sales in the Philly area. Eventually, we had a number of successful programs with teams who wanted to be able to control the characters and were able to enforce the copyright, so we sold the Fanatic and then others to the teams. U.S. law means copyright transfers made from 1978 onwards may be terminated in a way analogous to that of a revocable license, although notice must be given at least 2 years before termination, the date of which must fall 35 to 40 years after the transfer agreement was made. Such transfers started to be reclaimed from 2013 onwards. One notable case was that of the Village People lead singer Victor Willis, credited with co-authoring the fan favorite YMCA, regularly heard at furry events, won his case for termination despite having had support in creating the work. According to Bill Giles, his original decision not to buy the copyright for an additional $1,300 was one of the worst decisions of his life, since the transfer cost about $250,000 when he bought the Phillies 5 years later. Now 41 years since the Fanatic's debut appearance at Veterans Stadium, perhaps he's regretting not building the mascot himself. Now the Fanatic is one of the most, if not the most, popular mascot in sports, besides the San Diego Chicken, which we've had him as a guest of honor at Anthrocon back in 2015. In fact, I still have his little figure. Now, Philadelphia fans, they're not exactly the most lovable bunch. Is you rub them the wrong way, they're going to let you know about it. But if the Fanatic goes, what happens to the team? What happens in Philadelphia? To me, this would be the biggest mistake they would ever make. People love the Fanatic, and I saw the transfer cost of about $250,000. By today, I think they said that they would want something like $2 million. That's from a an article I read. But now I need to know what the terms of the contract were, because there are I've taken business law as a class. There, this is under contract law. So yeah, there's different ones. You got to have certain things inside of a contract. One of which is amount of time. But in this case, we have a transfer agreement, and the law says that if you want to if you have a copyright transfer made from 1978 onward, it may be terminated in the way of that of a revocable license, and it must be given at least 2 years before termination, the date of which must fall 35 to 40 years after the transfer agreement was made. So this is something that I definitely got to look into more, because there is such a thing as a contract that is endless, but with this law, this makes it not such the case. But people would be really upset if the Fanatic was taken away from the Phillies. We may have to come back to this story, because this is definitely one that's going to cause problems. I've already ran a little over, so I'll go ahead and go to upcoming events for September. September 5th to the 8th for SonaCon, which will be in Virginia Beach, but that might have to be pending depending on the hurricane. September 6th to 8th, Furry Migration in Minnesota. September 7th, Fur Square. No, not Fur Squared. Fur Square, which is in Bangkok, Thailand, and it's only for 1 day. West Aussie Fur Frenzy from the 7th to the 9th over in Perth, Australia. September 13th to 15th, SillyCon, which is in Russia. 27th to 29th, Mini Fur, which will be in the Czech Republic. Furvana, the same dates over in Ocean Shores, Washington. 27th to the 30th, Wild North over in Northumberland, England. And finally, SoCal Fur Barbecue on the 27th over at Irvine Regional Park, Orange County, California. As of right now, my next convention is scheduled to be a Midwest Fur Fest. There is a raffle out for who's going to get hotel rooms in the Hyatt, which is what I really prefer because of Sapphire's airbrushing. I was at... no, I was not Embassy. Where was I last time? But I was at one of the other hotels, and I thought it was attached to the Sky Bridge, but you actually have to walk out to the parking garage in order to get to the Sky Bridge, and even though it's a 10-minute walk. And it's not directly to the Hyatt. You have to go through the convention center and then over to the Hyatt. So yeah, the Hyatt is definitely the one I prefer. So if I don't get one here, I might have to ask around for space. really out of necessity. So that's pretty much going to be it, and hopefully it'll stay safe with Hurricane Dorian. But I'm not all too concerned about it, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. So for now, this Dragon's Mouth is now closing.